Last week with Jane, you did the square root of something with an exponent that was even. And so we're going to take the square root of 12 and simplify it, and we're going to take the square root of u to the 10th and simplify it. Square root of 12. Not a perfect square, so we need to factor that out. What times what should we make 12? 4 times 3, right?
Yeah.
So if I do 4 times 3, the square root of 4 is 2. So that would be 2 square root of 3. I still have to do the part with my exponent. The square root of u to the 10th is u to the 5th, because we do half of that exponent when we do the square root. They're going to put that back behind the 2 because it's a perfect square, so they're going to put 2u to the 5th times the square root of 3, and that's how my answer's going to go. So I'll just make one big square root and I'll factor it out that way. 28. What's the biggest perfect square that divides evenly into 28? So 4 and 7. So I have 4 and 7, and then I still have the v to the 8th power. Taking out my perfect squares. The square root of 4 is 2. The square root of v to the 8th would be v to the 4th, and then that square root of 7 is going to stay on the end because I can't simplify the square root of 7. So 2v to the 4th times the square root of 7. And so number 12, same kind of thing. I want to simplify this. 72 is not a perfect square. What's the biggest perfect square that divides evenly into 72? There's a bigger one than 9.
$36.
36. So I'm going to say that's 36 times 2. If I would do 9, I would say 9 times 8, but then 8 would have to be factored again because that's 4 times 2. And then I could take out the square root of 9 and the square root of 4, which happens to give me the same thing as if I do the square root of 36. So if you find the biggest one, it just makes your work easier. So square root of 36 is 6. The square root of my x to the 6th would be x to the 3rd, and then I've got the square root of 2 left over. So 6x cubed square root of 2.